Last chapter that we have to cover prior to the end of the semester, chapter 13. I've got about 4 days that we're going to do. We're going to spend today looking at circles. Then we'll look at ellipses. We've got hyperbolas, and then systems of nonlinear equations and being able to solve them. So essentially we're looking at what we call conic sections in this chapter. So today what we're going to do is we're going to find an equation of a circle given a center, and then we're going to determine the center and radius of a circle of given. Sorry, sun just came out. This might happen on and off. And then the other three ones we'll do tomorrow. So what's a conic section? When an infinite cone is intersected by a plane, the result figure is what we call conic sections. The parabola is one of the conic sections, and we've talked about parabolas a lot in here already. Circles, ellipses, and hyperbolas are also different types of conic sections. So a circle is created by kind of taking your cone and cutting it this direction and then kind of open it up and you're going to see a circle. An ellipse would be kind of a diagonal cross section. Kind of same thing with the parabola, but when you're doing this one, it goes out the bottom or top. And then you've got a hyperbola that's kind of both of those. Today we're going to concentrate on circles. So we're going to start out with a standard equation of a circle, and a circle is always going to be in this form, and we're going to try to write those. So a circle, by definition, a circle is a set of all points in a plane that lie a fixed distance from there. So we've got this circle, type situation. That's a circle. It's got this center point. That center point is going to be labeled, most of the time by us, it's going to be labeled HK, where H is your X value, K is your Y value, and then it has a radius, R, in there as well. And that radius, again, is from the center to any point, and the radius is always going to be the same. It's kind of that set of all fixed points. Mow a yard. You want to mow a yard, you got a self-propelled mower. You could, technically speaking, get like a cylinder like that and tie it to a piece of string, and that's a fixed distance, that radius. But as it goes around, it's going to get closer and closer and closer, so you could mow your yard with a self-propelled mower without ever doing anything. And I don't know how well that works, but you could. We've all seen where the dog was sitting in the chain and on his chain, where it's kind of run around this fixed distance, and it's the furthest it can go out. You guys know what circles are. So those are circles. So standard form of an equation of a circle. This needs to be in your notes, or take a picture of it so you have it. Probably in your notes would probably be best. Our formula is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where r is the radius and h is the center of it. So one of the things we want to be able to do is we want to be able to write the standard equation of a circle. So let's say that we know the center. Let's say the center is at 7, 1, and it has a radius that's equal to 2. We want to write the standard form of the equation. Well, the standard form of the equation for this is going to be x minus h. The x value at the center is my h, so it's going to be x minus 7 squared plus y. The k value is my y value at the center, so y minus 1 squared equals 2 squared, because it's the radius squared. So that's 2 squared, but 2 squared is just 4. So that's the standard equation for a circle with center at 7, 1 and a radius of 2. Okay, and that's really what we're going to be looking at doing today, are really those different types of questions. Okay, so let's look at another one. So we're going to find the equation of the circle with a center 2, -1, and a radius of 3. Okay, so again, we've got our formula. If you didn't write it down, It's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. We'll substitute my x with my h with a 2. So that gives me x minus 2 squared plus y minus. And we're going to substitute our k with minus 1. So instead of putting y minus 1, this will actually be y plus 1 squared. 3 squared is what that's going to be. And of course we want to work that out, and 3 squared is just 9. And there's our solution. That's the equation of the circle with that. Okay. Let's look at another one. I'm just going to kind of backtrack and erase this one. Let's look at another one. Let's say that we have a center of -4, -3. And we have a radius that's equal to the square root of 5. And we're going to write the standard equation of a circle with that center and that radius. Okay, just give you a couple seconds to do that. Okay. So you should have had x minus -4, so x plus 4 squared plus y minus -3, so y plus 3 squared equals the square root of 5 squared. Well, remember, when you square a square root, what's left is just what's underneath the radical. So you just got 5. And you're done. Okay. So that's how we go about finding the equation of a circle with a given radius and a given center. The next thing that we have to talk about is we want to be able to determine the center and the radius of a circle if we're given an equation. So let's say that we're just given the equation x squared plus y squared equals 4. And we want to know what the center is. And we want to know what the radius is equal to. Okay. Well, our standard form is that x minus h squared, and there's nothing in there. So our center in this case, since it's just x squared, our center is going to be 0. And since it's just y squared, our y value is going to be 0. And remember, the 4 is r squared. So our r squared value is 4. So we take the square root of 4, which is just 2. Excuse me. So our center for this is 0, 0, and it has a radius of 2. Okay. I'm going to clear this off. Let's do another one. Say we've got x minus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 16. And again, we want to know the center point, and we want to know what the radius is equal to. So the center, I always kind of say it's the opposite of what you see in there. You see -2, so my x value is 2. You see +4, my center is 2, -4. The radius, my r squared is equal to 16, so the square root of 16 is 4. There's my center, there's my radius for this. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, I'm just going to erase this because the screen kind of just goes to something goofy. And let's go with x squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 25. And this time, we're going to I want you to find the center. I want you to find the radius. And I also want you to sketch the graph of it. I'll give you a couple seconds to go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's nothing added to the x, so my center is 0. My radius, opposite of what I see, is -3. Radius squared is 25, so r is equal to 5. So the graph of this, just a sketch of the graph of this, you're going to put a dot at 0, -3, which is right there. And it has a radius of 5, so I'm going to go up 5 and kind of put a dot, and then just kind of draw the best circle that I can draw, which is ugly, but obviously on your assignment that you have for today, when you have to do this, there'll be graph paper on the assignment that you have for today. So you'll be able to use that in that type of situation. So we'll do one last question that looks just like this, and really then that's all that you have with circles. So let's go x squared plus y minus 6. Let's go y plus 6. Y plus 6 squared equals 9. Go ahead, find the center, the radius, and graph it. Should be done. Okay, so you get 0, -6, radius is 3, and there's what the graph looks like. So there's circles, standard equation of a circle. You're going to have to identify the center and the radius, and then you're going to have to be able to graph them and write the equations given the center and the radius and so on and so forth. So there is 13.1. 13.2 will be ellipses. All the videos are only going to be about 10-12 minutes over this stuff, so it should be pretty short, should be pretty quick, about 10 questions in your assignment today, 9 questions in your assignment today. Now it looks like I just took one out. So go ahead, get working on that, and we'll see you next time.